welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, Dawn, you're still on. I saw that message that you are here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming back to Pandora Prim's YouTube channel. I'm excited today. I have Clinton here. We're going to be talking all things health, exercise, fasting, eating, just different ways of eating to be your best self, 40 and above, right? So go ahead and let you take it away. Go ahead and introduce yourself to people who don't know you.
Yep. My name is Clinton McCoy. I'm the creator of a program called Holistic Fitness 2.0. Just looking at a new way based on science and real world evidence on how to actually live healthy and well, especially in decade 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even 10. 8, 9, and
Woo!
10.
Right. All right.
Mhm.
Dawn, if you still on, Dawn the educator, let us know that you still here. Because you were here right on time. You were like, I want to see this, I want to learn this stuff. Let me know. Let your girl let us know that you still here. Awesome. And my name is Pandara Prim. For those of you who don't know me, I am a shamanic tantric therapist, um, 50 years old, but I know I don't look like it because everybody tell me they think I'm 30. So a lot of that for me came from this journey of just trying to be healthy, right? I grew up watching my mom on all of these different medications for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for cholesterol. And 2 years ago, when the doctor told me that I had high blood pressure, cholesterol, I was pre-diabetic. They wanted me to get on meds. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And so that's when I made a point to do a lifestyle change. And for me, this is a lifestyle change. I lost over 20 pounds. My blood pressure is stable, my cholesterol, my sugar levels, and I'm not taking meds. I'm taking supplements. But we're gonna get into that because I know Clint and I talked about supplements and really how you should be getting all of your nutrients. So, Clinton, how did you get into this? Like, how did you get into fitness?
Well, I probably got into, I would say, exercising and working out. Of course, I did it as a kid, but didn't really do it much in my 20s. Didn't do it much in my early 30s. Uh, Ability started going down probably around mid 30, 34, 35. I actually started, working out on my own, trying to get, bigger, stronger, things you do when you're younger. Um, And then I actually got started taking on clients doing it. I got real good at it. So I probably got into it probably about my 30s. Nutrition wise, I will probably say from that side, probably like 29, 30. That's what I probably. So I had a vegan vegetarian diet for almost 20 years. Um,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
I said, uh-huh.
Yeah,
I was
almost 20
listening.
years. Um, how I actually got into what I'm doing now, the holistic fitness part, is from taking in a lot of the wrong information over time and my body actually starting to break down as I got to about 44, 45, 46, and then 47, it was downhill for me for about 3 years until I had to realize the way that I was doing things before, um, though they might have been okay at a certain time in life, and in a certain outlook. But when you're thinking about longevity, like you say, living, you know, into your 90s, you have to change things up. And that's how I got into this kind of like fitness and just learning a lot of stuff from so called being vegan, so called juicing, so called these things, all these things that we were told to do that over time, they didn't serve me.
Right, right. So, so for me, I'm very much a proponent of juicing. And I know
Hmm.
you I saw you juicing on one of your videos. And one of the things that you said that was actually important is that juicing should not be a meal replacement. And so I think that's an important thing. I think oftentimes, and so for me with my healing, I've done juicing, I've done fasting, and like you, I was vegan at one point, and for me, I had became vegan when I was trying to get rid of my fibroid. And so, and I swear by this, it did help me, you know, and I read Queen Afua's book and I loved it. And one of the things when I had fibroids and my doctor wanted me to have surgery. Now, when I tell you, this might be TMI for a guy, I don't know, but like I was bleeding every
Mm-hmm.
single day. My cycle would last 8 days. And then I was changing every 2 hours, a pad and a tampon. And then after those 8 days, when my period stopped, I was still bleeding every day. So it would be like 8 days of like heavy bleeding, and then every day after that, for the next month, it was spotting until my period started again for 8 days, and I became anemic. And so my doctor was like, "You need to have surgery." And this is when a friend of mine gave me Queen Afua's book.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things for me was, so I changed my diet. I stopped eating meat, anything that causes mucus to grow, dairy, and I started exercising. And one of the things that she talked about was just exercising a lot to the point where your body is sweating. So, you know, for me, I feel like the combination of all of that really made a difference. Now, I'm no longer vegan, and I would say I have more of a plant-based diet, but I do eat meat every now and then. I really try to stay away from pork, but I'll eat lamb every once in a while. I'll eat beef and I'll eat chicken, but in moderation. So for me, on a day to day, I'm doing plant based, and then I'll splurge because I do kind of feel like you want to enjoy and you don't want to be suffering and like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, and limiting yourself. So, what are your thoughts on that?
For anyone that uses AI or anything like that, and or if they have a non-biased way of asking a question and getting an answer, for almost any type of meat that's digestible by humans, even if I say pork, if you ask from a physiological perspective, what makes this meat bad for humans?
Hmm.
Now, if you throw in some religions, belief systems, tradition, that's different. But from a physiological perspective, if people
Hmm.
can do it and have lived for 60, 70, 80, 90 years doing a thing, yeah, some people might have preferences on other things, but that thing works just as well. And not just talking about eating meat, just anything. If
Hmm.
someone says, you can't live a vibrant life if you drink pink water, and you have people that's lived to be 90, bunches of them that did that. Just because
Hmm.
this goes against kind of what we think doesn't actually mean that's true. As humans, this is what I know. This
Hmm.
is not conjecture. This is not belief. As humans, we are, from a digestive perspective, species, we're omnivores. We can survive off of plants. We can survive off of meat. We can survive off of things that's rotten. Matter of fact, for most of our evolution, we preferred things that were a little bit on the rotten side or fermented because there was no refrigeration.
Hmm.
So there was no way to preserve. A lot of times, even when I was probably say, even with your fibroids, because I've worked with most of my clients are women. So I know a good amount about women's physiology, especially in the reproductive areas and things that potentially symptoms that come from the immune system being overtaxed, the adrenal systems being overtaxed. And these things will show up in ways that the doctors will say, well, we don't know where this is coming from, but you're having these, which would be the fibroids and cysts and what's that pain that people have? That's fibromyalgia too, right?
Fibromyalgia.
Yeah, that pain. But I will bet dollars to donuts when you were exercising and investing in yourself and felt good, your pain was little to gone, almost to
Hmm.
gone.
Right. So you
Um,
know what's so interesting? So that's so true, but not even with just that. What's so funny is I had a client. She also had fibromyalgia, and I would do tantric massage on her, and
yeah.
she was like, wow, like my pain is gone receiving the tantric massage. Because what happens? So, like what you're talking about, like with the exercising, doing the tantric massage, you're building those feel good hormones, the oxytocin, the dopamine. And so people are feeling better. And I think we have to be our own advocate. We have to be our health advocate because doctors don't even know what fibromyalgia is, right? They
And
give
I'll
you
do
that
you one better. I'll do you one better. This is where I get into holistic fitness from. A lot of
Mhm.
times, what the doctors are not talking to us about, because we're not going to this type of doctor. The way the medical system here is set up in the United States, if you have a problem with your lung, even though it's just a few inches over, they're not checking your heart. They got to send you to
Right.
somebody else to do that. If you got a
Right,
problem with
exactly.
your heart, they're not gonna look just a little bit down and see if you got a problem in your gut or your
Right. It's not a
liver.
holistic. Yeah.
They got to send you to a whole thing. And a lot of these things, most people are not looking at this from a cellular perspective, down to a cell level. A lot of these uh, kind of neuro pains and things that we get from that is our bodies telling us that something's off.
Right.
You
I agree.
know,
Yeah.
and when we start actually experiencing those type of pains and we start fixing the wrong spots, things become more off.
Right.
So when we are feeling good, those hormones are helping, but investing in ourselves is helping. But also there's a thing. So the musculoskeletal system is an organ. It's the largest
Hmm.
organal system in the body. This is what a lot of times we don't look at. When that system is sick or atrophied, and you can tell if you go like this and it's soft, if you touch it on here and it's soft, that softness is good in the 20s, but as we start to get in our 30s and 40s and 50s, that's letting us know that we have a whole organal system that's off. By the time
Hmm.
that system get off, it's going to affect our gut. It's going to affect sexual areas. It's going to
Hmm.
affect the thyroid. It's going to affect, especially women, more of their endocrine system, the hormonal system. That affects the immune system. Then before you know it, we're really on a path that potentially, without medication, an early death.
Hmm.
And for me, these different pains and things that manifest in the body, even unwanted fat, is the
Hmm.
body trying to let us know that something's off and we need to fix it.
Right.
Um, that's why I focus on healing, from it. So that's kind of my take on how they're missing the boat, because people are focused on the wrong areas when it actually uh, comes to the things that you need to fix the body.
Right. And you said something important. We can't be having anything wrong with our sexual areas because, man, that's
That's
the
I feel like
most
how we
important
talk about
energies.
God or whatever like that. That's one of the first signals that God, the spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, kind of wants to let us know that something's wrong. Because for men, the one of the first things that goes is that performance level.
Right.
You know
Look,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Look,
And then the
y'all,
stomach
if you
starts to
can't
get
get it
bigger.
up, but
Huh?
and it's funny. I said, if you can't get it up, well,
And then the
it's so
stomach
funny
gets
that you,
bigger. And as the more the stomach gets bigger, the more unhealthy we are, the harder it is to get it and keep it going.
right.
Women tend to start having like the pain problems, irregular cycles, fibroids, uh, perimenopause, push sooner, just a lot of different things that comes from overstressed. The body
Yes.
being overstressed from working the wrong way for a long period of time. This is why it's hard to play it off at 35. More
Hmm.
difficult at 40. At 45, you can
Right.
almost look and see who's metabolically unhealthy. It's hard to
Right.
hide.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true. And women are like, we'll talk. Like when we're together and guys trying to holler at us and he has a big stomach, like we'll be like, he can't get it up. And and it's true. And so I'm not trying to, offend anybody if you got a big stomach or anything.
No,
Hey,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay, no,
Some
no,
people with big stomachs probably can put it down, but
right.
I'm
That's
I'm
true.
relatively fit, and I've had a big stomach before.
And
Yeah,
you're
you
putting
can't.
down, you're laying down the pipe.
You can't tell me. I'm sorry. It's different.
It's different now.
Yeah,
Oh,
the hit.
but it's really about also like, so what you're saying. It's really about, I know when I was younger, I would always say, I don't want to live to be like 80, 90 if I'm unhealthy, and so it's about having the best quality of life.
Mm.
So, if we're going to live to be 80, 90, 100 years old, you want to be able to be healthy. Like I would look at my
Here comes
dad, and he's
newsflash.
like playing
Here comes a
soccer,
newsflash,
he
real
was in
quick.
great shape. Mm-hmm.
Newsflash. With AI and all those things, anyone that's 50 and under right now, you're going to be 80. Unless you have an accident or something like that, you will going to be 80. You can spend
Mm-hmm.
15 to 20 of those years dependent,
Right.
having a lackluster life, no dreams, no ambitions, starving your soul from being able to experience life in the
Right.
times when you kind of figured out who you are, or
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do things that allow you to be able to thrive, because it is not going to be hard to be 140 years.
Right. Right. With all the
You know,
technology, with
with all this
everything.
technology, organ replacement, just even what people, I'm 52. First of all, too
You're not
bad I can't
52.
pull up. You're trying to make me feel good, but don't stop. But if I show my before and after picture of this when I was 50, black all in the neck because my A1C was about a 6.6,
Hmm.
dark circles all around here. I had the man boobs, big stomach, cholesterol was about a 310. At the time, age,
Wow.
they wanted to put me on statins. And because I
Oh, that's
didn't
the
know,
worst thing. Worst
yeah,
thing.
it doesn't heal
Statins
you.
will cause so many issues.
It doesn't heal you. Now I get it if it's acute and you need something to get it down real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, but a regimen, no medication heals you.
Right.
Medication only deals with the symptoms. That's why 99% of all medications have side effects.
Right.
They don't heal. You
Mm-hmm.
know, food does not have a side effect unless your body's physiological state is off. If you're
Right.
really metabolic unhealthy, going on a fruit diet is unhealthy for you. It's no
Mm-hmm.
longer your friend. Um, Too much insulin is going to be spiked.
Right.
So when our body is operating optimal, like I said, we're omnivore. We
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to say like eating certain seafoods, don't eat crabs. It's the garbage feeders of the ocean. I hate to break this to people, but we're the garbage feeders of the land. Meat, we can
Okay,
eat
so tell me more on
vegetables.
that because that's my struggle. I love me some shrimp and I love me some crabs. I can eat that all the time. And I try to limit because, and this is part of why I don't eat pork, right? Because they say how it's bad, like how it eats everything. It eats the poop and it'll eat everything. And so, crabs and shrimp are bottom feeders. And so I keep being like, I can't eat this. I can't eat this. But I do, like, I haven't stopped. But I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let me not eat it as much as I would.
So now there's a good point. Anything when you do too much is too much.
Hmm.
And understanding how your body is and how it handles foods, now you start to understand what's toxic for you.
Hmm.
Uh, a half a candy bar good for somebody. A whole one, you start to do too much. That
Hmm.
half too many days in a row, too much. That half every 3 weeks or a whole one every 3 weeks, knowing how your body is, probably not an issue. Probably give you a pep. A lot of
Hmm.
times people are claiming allergies and problem things wrong with their body when they eat food without any evidence. They haven't taken any
Hmm.
food allergy tests. So many people are allergic to dairy that's not. So many people are gluten,
Lactose intolerant is that,
gluten,
oh, gluten. Yeah.
but they're not. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They claim it, but they haven't actually got tested to see if their body has negative reactions towards it.
All right.
Chances
So,
are, go ahead.
so when you say that, it just makes me think. The most important thing is you have to be aware of your body. And so I know for me, and I love meat, but when I
Mhm,
eat a lot of meat, I start having issues. And then even when I looked at my blood type, that I don't really follow that much. But
mhm.
when I looked at my blood type, it says I shouldn't eat meat. But everything on there that I shouldn't eat was everything that I ate and I
Listen,
loved.
you don't get
And
enough
everything,
information. Yeah, you don't get enough information from a blood sample, blood alone, to guide your life. There are a
Right.
lot of people who are obese, really, really obese, but they have subcutaneous fat. It's the
Mm-hmm.
jiggly fat. It's not the stuff around the belly. So these
Mm-hmm.
people will go to the doctor, depending on how old they are and where they are in life, probably early 30s, and take a snapshot, their stuff going to be green. From
Right.
that blood work, it's showing that you're healthy. But
Mm-hmm.
you don't see the plaque build up. You don't see that obviously that your energy systems are off. You know what I mean? At that point, it might even show healthy, but you could be on a spectrum where 90 to 100 is healthy. One time you were 90, but now they're taking you at 98, but they're going to say you're healthy just from the blood
Mm-hmm.
work. The blood
Right.
work is a lot of things that's not going to be able to tell you. Now they're getting into being able to detect certain cancers from
Mm-hmm.
blood, but they couldn't do that before. So understanding how that's going to work in your digestive system. First of all, if you really want to understand what's happening in your digestive system, understand what's going on in your gut microbiome.
Yes.
Those trillions and trillions and trillions of bacteria have more to do with what you're going to eat, how you're going to actually even feel throughout the day than a lot of stuff that's even happening in the world around you. Because you
Mm-hmm.
can hit $1 million, meet that person you love, and everything's going right, but your stomach is killing you.
Mm-hmm.
What type of day are you having?
Right. Yeah. Shitty
Um,
day.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
so a
It's
lot
true.
of
And
people
that's
don't know this stuff, though.
right. Yeah. And that's why it's important to have these conversations, right? And
Hmm.
so I know for me, I've started getting to the point where I listen to my body. And so if my body is saying that it wants this, I'll do it. And so every once in a while, I might be like, oh, I want this candy bar. It's rare because I don't really have a sweet tooth or anything. But I remember the other day I saw whatchamacallit. I was like, oh my God. It was just a nostalgic thing. Because I used to love whatchamacallits when I was a baby, when I was a kid. So I bought the whatchamacallit, but I didn't finish the whole thing. But the funny thing is, I took a couple bites and it just didn't taste the same anymore. And
Hmm.
so I didn't even feel like I needed to finish it. I was like, okay, I tasted it. Now I'm good.
Hmm.
And so our taste buds also start to change.
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, I noticed once I stopped eating so many different processed foods. When I do try to eat a processed food, my body doesn't like it anymore. You
Process
know?
is a couple steps away from being sugar,
Mm-hmm.
so, and it's definitely far away from being actual food. Like real bread has three ingredients. The
Mm-hmm.
bread that we get is 27 to 30 ingredients with a bread like substance. So
Right.
what we're actually eating, there's a whole bunch of kind of chemicals. But they did this in the 70s when they was like still having food shortages around the world. They went to the scientists and it was like, hey, what can you do to help us with this food study, with these food shortages around the world? So what they did is they made food super tasty,
Mm-hmm.
um, easy to store,
Mm-hmm.
and fast to eat. And that's where you
Right.
get a lot of the processed stuff. It's super tasty, hyper palatable, high calories, nutrient rich, and easy to store. But the
Mm-hmm.
body is not used to breaking down food that way. It's not
Right.
used to getting nutrients. And they've done studies. You can actually be relatively healthy on a processed food diet, depending on how you do it. A lot of this emphasis that people put on diet as being the number one contributor to uh, length of life and quality of life is not true. Diet is
Mm-hmm.
very important, but we was talking about the shrimp. Look at people in China historically, in Japan, or along the rivers, the Mediterranean.
Yes.
What do you think they're eating? And they're in the blue zones. These are the ones that's supposed to be living to be 100.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if it was eating bottom feeder, and they don't even cook a lot of their stuff in Japan. They snatch it almost out the water.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have people who live off all fat, Eskimos. People who live in the Caribbean who's going to have more of a tropical style diet is going to eat different than people
Mm-hmm.
who are native to deserts. But
Right.
all these people have people who live long lives. So to say that diet is the one thing, the real metric is, well, few metrics: how active you are, the quality of people that you have around you, and how you deal with stress.
Right.
You know, and then also now eating, you can eat a lot of things that you want, but you have to undereat. Let's say if you get 100% full, most of the people that live real long, most of the time they're only eating to 80% satisfied. When
Mhm.
you go to other countries and stuff, most people are just eating till they're satisfied, smaller portions, setting it down and go doing what they have to do. You know, that alone is going to reduce fibroids. Um, a lot of times, even going from eating meat, and I'm not advocating either way. Any way someone wants to source their protein, as long as they're doing effectively, you're going to get positive gains.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, most people do not know how to do it effectively. And if you are eating a mostly vegetable diet, especially vegan, it is going to be carbohydrate rich inherent. If you are not doing strength training type exercise, keeping the musculoskeletal system healthy, by 40 or less, 60% of vegans will be overweight.
Mhm. Yeah,
By
and
40,
eat or less. Like I know
yeah,
younger
I'm trying to
vegans
be
who are
nice.
overweight, you know,
Yeah,
and
I'm
so,
trying to
and
be
that's the
nice.
thing. Yeah, and that's a very good point because you could be vegan, but you can be unhealthy. And so a lot of this is for me, whatever lifestyle you choose, that's for you. But you got to make sure you're healthy because I've seen a lot of vegans who are overweight, and I've also seen a lot of vegans who are like unhealthily skinny.
Yeah.
And so, and for me, that's unhealthy as well, you know, because you could be vegan, but you're eating all kinds of junk food. You're eating so many different things, or you're not getting in the the vegetables or the protein that you need. So one of
Yeah.
my nieces was vegan at one point, and then she started having issues. Like the doctor was like, "You're unhealthy," but because she was eating like French fries and she was eating all this other stuff, and I told her mom, I was like, um, look, she's vegan, and I know you're not vegan, but you got to make sure she's getting the nutrients that her body needs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so, and then a lot of these vegan products out here are horrible for you. Like it's processed meat, like it's like vegan meat. That's all this
Why
processed
do you
stuff that
want to go vegan and have your food look like chicken?
right,
First of
right.
all, you're not really fooling the body like that. This is a fake
Mhm.
loop that's going on, and it a
Right.
cognitive dissonance type thing
Right.
happening
Real
in
quick, let me pause you real quick. I just
yeah.
want to say if you're on here and you have any questions, let us know. Like we also want to be able to guide you if you have any questions. If you're struggling with something, maybe you got fibroids, maybe you're vegan and you've been unhealthy. Like I want this to be interactive. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid. Come on up in here. Let us know you're here and feel free to ask any questions that you have. And real quick commercial break. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram at prandaraprim_tantra. That is also my TikTok, prandaraprim_tantra. My website is also www.prandaraprim.com. And my website is that was my website. My Facebook is Renee Adolph. So go ahead and follow me. If you don't know Clinton, go ahead and follow him on IG or TikTok as Holistic Fitness 2.0. So we want to hear from you. Go ahead and let us know if you have any questions, any thoughts. All right. So
Because a lot
Natasha
of this
said,
stuff flies against what a lot of us was taught. It's mixed in our religion. So a lot of
mm,
times we think when we want to get right, when it comes time to get fit, I got to get right.
mm,
I got to stop eating meat. So we tie it to a moral thing, not so much a real understanding of our physiology. So one of the things in my program, let me see,
yeah,
most,
Natasha said most are not educated on how to get the proper vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. I am vegan 25 years, but it took me more than 10 years to learn nutrition. Oops, he went out. Um, and thank you, Natasha, for that, because that is and that's the truth. Like a lot of so many of us or so many people who are vegan are not doing it right. And we have to truly learn how to get the proper vitamins, minerals, and nutrition. And the best way to get that is through your food. You know, there's a lot of people who are vegan or vegetarian and they're taking all these supplements. I'm taking supplements too, but I also know that I could do a little bit better on my eating. But you should really get all of your supplements, all of the minerals, everything from your diet. And one of the things that my naturopathic doctor said to me was that when you eat, you should have a rainbow diet. Let me send him a message that he dropped. You should have a rainbow. Your food should be rainbow. So you should have all the colors of the rainbow in on your plate. All right, you back.
Well, and you know what? And that is one way to look at it. And that's an easy way for to get somebody introductory level to it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's for people they're focused. A lot of times, see, we skip over the cellular part and we go right to the big nutrients, the macro
Mm-hmm.
vegetables, the macro fruits. When a lot of this stuff, these problems started happening was down at a cellular level. So we need to heal at that level. The way the older people used to do it is just regular herbs.
Mm-hmm.
So would you want a diversity inside your food for a diverse bacteria going on inside the gut? It's going to be very difficult to have a different type of corn, eggplant, beets,
Mm-hmm.
oregano. But if you have thymes, parsley, cilantro, different onions, bell peppers, different things like that, you can cut all that stuff up and even put it in a bone broth and or a soup or mix it inside a regular leafy green salad. And then you would essentially to your cells be eating like 13 different vegetables, but
Mm.
almost nil in calories and
Yeah,
high
and that's what makes me
fiber.
think. Because I do that a lot. I'm sorry, I do that a lot. Like a lot of times, what I eat is like lentils or chickpeas, but I'm putting onions, green peppers, garlic. I love me some cilantro, some parsley, thyme. I'm putting all of that in there,
Yeah.
and that will be a meal. And then I'll have a salad. Oh, and avocado. I'll have
Yeah.
a salad, and I'm always adding avocado to it. Like I can eat avocado
That's a
every day.
healthy fat.
Healthy fat.
Yeah, and so I want to say address what the doctor was saying when she came on too about that. Is that's the same thing what happened to me, and by the time towards the end, I knew how to vegan. I didn't need how my food to look like a certain way. I would mix my legumes and other, because there's certain ways that you want to mix your food so that your body is getting certain amino acids. And this is the
Yeah.
thing that we lack from things that's not complete protein sources such as meat. And without certain amino acids, it's hard for certain reparative processes to happen in the body. And you can get away with this stuff for most people 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But when we start talking about 10, 15, 20, 30 years for most, especially if you're not doing it correctly, you start to have these deficiencies. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
that stuff starts to show up in the oxidative stress and in a lot of joint health and also metabolic health. Now,
Right.
combining these, the strongest I've been, the biggest I've been, is when I had my vegan diet. But I
Mm-hmm.
was highly active then in those times, and I took a lot of shape. By the time I figured out, though, uh, the nature of chronic disease had then caught a hold on me, and I didn't understand chronic disease. I didn't
Mm.
understand the thing that builds up over 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you get out of shape, you get right, you think you're getting right, but you never healed the thing. You just lost weight or built up, and then you fall off again. The disease never got healed. So, bam, it gets stronger, it gets stronger. And then it goes from insulin resistance, what a lot of people don't even know, the insulin resistance, and then what they would call for insurance purposes pre-diabetes, and then your type 2 diabetic state. But when you have insulin resistance, this is diabetes. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you have a baby and it's a baby, it's a small baby, this is still the same human at 50.
Right.
Still a human, just at a different stage.
Right.
Insulin resistance, what most of us are suffering with, most people are suffering with, is pre-diabetes. This is something that used to affect us around 30 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
So our parents and stuff like that and grandparents would get diabetes in their 60s. Now, because of the high carbohydrate, high sugar, high processed, and now commercial seed oils, which is not bad by themselves, but when you have metabolic disorder, metabolic syndrome, now the commercial seed oils become bad, and kids are becoming insulin resistant at 12, 13, 14, and 15. So instead of having out of 25 kids in a class, three being, or one or two or three being overweight, the ones that are not overweight are the anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
This is
True.
happening
Yeah.
to them in their teens. So by the time they get 30 and 40, they're so metabolically unhealthy. So whether we get our degrees, whether we get learned, whether we check all the boxes, right when we should be living the prime of our life and learning on who we are, we're bogged down by I, I hate to put it this way, but by disease,
Right. That's so true.
by disease states of the body.
Mm-hmm.
So if we really want to be healthy, mental, physical, and spiritual, because it's very difficult. You can tell me, I can tell you, but our heart of hearts knows when we're committing a suicide. I hate to
Mm-hmm.
put it that way, but
Yeah.
it's us as Black people, especially with all this technology now and
Mm-hmm.
our ability to have longevity. Imagine. I'm not sure if the question has been posed already, but what are commercial? Oh, commercial seed
Commercial
oil.
oils that we should avoid.
Um, Anything that can't be turned into a natural oil. So what can be is coconut can be pressed out, olive, and I believe avocado
Yeah.
can be.
So in my cooking, I only use coconut oil, avocado oil, and olive oil.
Yeah,
They say all from my studies, all the other oils,
yeah. They're
those
commercial.
oils,
The Crisco's. So imagine, remember we were younger. Um,
Crisco. Yeah, we use it a
all
lot.
so no, actually Crisco is good for you.
Crisco.
The
Uh-huh.
Crisco is good for you because that's 100% fat. They were
Mm,
told us that I think it's Crisco. What's the one that's the lard? The come in the
the lard.
blue. Yes, lard. That's the
Cisco.
cooking oil they used to use way back in the days.
Cisco, is it? I know what you're talking
Crisco,
about, but I'm trying to
yeah,
remember.
yeah, yeah. That was actually the healthy fats because it was real fats. The commercial seed oils is the stuff that came out of the corn oil, vegetable oil, and when I was a vegan, I thought that this was healthier, especially in 2012, 13, 14, and 15. So you're thinking you're using vegetable oil because it's made out of vegetables. So this is
Right,
supposed to be better for you.
right.
And
Yeah.
by itself, it's not bad. But processed foods, high sugar intake, high percentage of body fat. Now, when we add these cooking oils into our foods, you can find it hard pressed that even when you buy something off a shelf,
Mm-hmm.
look at the ingredients in the back, it's going to have some of these commercial seed oils, and which is
Yeah.
going to be toxic to us, especially as I'm going to say African Americans, um, down to a cellular level. So those are going to be the things that spikes cholesterol, and not just regular cholesterol. When we look deeper into our cholesterol panel, your lipoprotein A and B
Mm-hmm.
mixed with your C-reactive protein, showing how much oxidative stress is going inside the body, that stuff skyrockets for us. But
Right.
taking that test for lipoprotein A is not even included on a thing. You got to get an advanced panel on your cholesterol and ask for it. And they'll talk you against using it because they'll say this is not covered by your insurance, but it's only a
Mm-hmm.
$15 test,
Right.
right? And knowing that test to let you know is if you have a pre-genetic disposition for buildup around the heart. Those seed oils, high cholesterol, high percentage of body fat, high percentage of the body fat that's in the stomach. So for people that look fit around here but have kind of a pot belly, that visceral fat is the same stuff that's going to lead them to, if they don't take high blood pressure or some type of medication, having a stroke in their 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
You
I know
know,
people in their 40s having strokes,
yeah,
in
it's
their
getting
40s.
younger.
Yeah, it's getting younger.
Contact.
And so, and talking about the holistic, because it's all connected, right? And so, and everything becomes a cycle. So, when you also have to make sure that you're not stressed, you're meditating. This is all part of this holistic wellness, because the more that you're stressed, you're increasing your cortisol levels, which will also make you gain weight. So part of that weight around the stomach could also be cortisol levels. So sometimes people are change their diet, they're exercising, but they can't lose weight because you're not getting that other piece where you need to relax. You need to find a way to heal your mind, whether that's meditation, yoga, qigong, tai chi, dance. Dance is also great. There's so many different things, and so everything works together. And I think that's an important piece that people have to also understand. You got to look at your diet, and
Mhm.
don't be like, I have to do this.
And how you exercise. So most people get the exercise thing completely wrong.
Mm-hmm,
Fact, physiological fact. Exercise as an independent variable does not make you gain or lose weight.
mm-hmm,
Period. Not by itself. We can have two runners. They both, a marathon runner and someone who runs the 100-yard dash. They
mm-hmm,
both run, exercise, same thing, same variable. They both run a lot. Two similar variables, but their bodies look different.
mm-hmm.
And they both eat a lot. Same thing. Their bodies look different. So it's not most people when they want to start so-called first of all, and they're starting with the wrong mindset. They're starting in a energy of loss because they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to lose weight. When the problem is
Mm,
not a loss thing, a problem the problem is an energy signaling thing, a
right,
hormonal thing.
right.
So we got to actually do things to actually heal and fix that. But most people, they just using they think exercise does that. What exercise has a causal relationship to is your movement ability and performance.
Mm-hmm,
Now, there's correlated benefits to weight loss and weight gain, but they're not causal. Now, what a lot
mm-hmm,
of people do is they do a lot of stuff, and a lot of times by accident, they get the result. But as soon as they slack off, things come back and it's worse. So
right.
if we use exercise, so it's how you use exercise. And so we were talking about even walking. I never count steps.
Mm-hmm,
Counting steps is one of the least effective ways to utilize the activity of walking to heal the body. Going back to what you were saying about cortisol, what you want to do, especially if you're already living a stressful life and stressful things going on, you want that casual, easy walk that puts out no cortisol, that also allows you to get vitamin D at the same time. If you
mm-hmm.
walk 3 to 4 times a week consistently, it will raise your overall base mood. You still
Mm-hmm.
might be shitty, but you'll be less shitty. You still,
As we
you
actually.
still might be a prude and a Debbie Downer or something like that, but you'll be less of that. One, because you're getting a lot of the nutrients that our body needs from us people who's being inside a lot, only in
Mm-hmm,
house inside the car. So we're a lot of vitamin D deficient. A lot of times people are focusing this stuff on food and other stuff like that, but it really boils down to a few vital nutrients. Vitamin D for one, making sure we get the right amino acids and making sure that we get protein at a high enough clip so that the body can have all the tools that it needs to heal itself. And that's a minimum of 1 gram of protein per desired lean muscle mass. The United States will tell you zero point 0.6. You should be, if you're trying to heal, you really should be getting closer to 2 in the beginning. If people do that and then they add progressive training, not thinking they're lifting weights because they're lifting 5 pounds, but not also thinking you got to go lift the whole gym either. You want to be able to start at a way that is getting you out of your comfort zone.
right.
And you want to
You're
do
good at
that
that. You're good
get
at that,
comfortable.
y'all. Y'all, I worked out with him. He was pissing me off.
So you got to get
Not
out of your
really, not
comfort
really.
zone
But it
to
was good
think,
because you were pushing and you're like, I know you can do more than that. And
yeah.
so
And you
that
did it.
was really important. That was really important because I'm like in my mind, especially because I tore both of my rotator cuffs, I was doing less, right? And he's like, I know you're strong. You've traveled the world.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you
So
can
a
do
lot of
it.
times people think strength is this. But strength, see, I'm different than a lot of coaches. I work from the nervous system and the hormones. I don't work from the calories in and calories out and how much exercise and how much food we're eating. I'm like, how does what we're doing affect the nervous system? Because nothing happens in the body without a neurological stimulant.
Right,
Nothing continues to get complete without hormonal responses.
right.
So when other people are focused on tissue like fat and muscle, when we should be focused on neurological, hormonal responses, cellular communication, when we actually
Hmm.
start doing that and using exercise and nutrition for that, It's a game changer. I read a lot of these different books and stuff like that, things on nutrition and things that help you get better. You know how simple it is? If you go, you pick up a piece of food and you say to yourself, self, how does this help me heal? If you get an I don't know, that's good because now you can go research it. But it'll let you'll know what's not going to work. When you start looking at everything you eat, how does this help me heal? How is this going to help me get stronger? Oh, what you said about meditation too, to help deal with stress. I'm primarily a strength and conditioning coach. I say that we get stronger than it. You get your nervous system neurologically robust and strong. The thing that's a stressor to other people won't bother you. The thing that bothers someone inside their 20s, an experienced 50-year-old looking at life and be like, it's not like the circumstance got easier. We just got stronger. So, but the meditation,
I need a little bit more of this because some stuff be pissing me off still. So I need a little bit more so I don't get pissed off, I think. What you got for me then?
Insert that energy. Put that into some strenuous exercise. One of the things we don't do as humans anymore, we don't hunt and we don't fight. So those systems of the body that keeps you strong and responsive and reflexes going and mentally sharp, they dullen over time.
Right. Maybe that's why I like watching fighting movies.
Exercise, even for a short period of time, that simulates to the body from a physiological perspective this fight, this hunt. So now we get sharp, we get stronger. And if we channel that into the right movement patterns, right recovery patterns, we can find ourselves doing things with the body that, like, I don't shoot basketball and I don't get in jump contests. Right now, I can stand in front of something and jump 30 inches without taking a step. Just because I went from focusing on just the muscles, but also my cells, also my tissues and stuff like that. Also hidden inside your cells and DNA is where your ancestors are. That's a little side note. And we can draw strength from that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Our body has cellular memory, right? And so it holds on to cellular memory of our ancestors at least 7 generations back. At least 7 generations.
Listen, from the first 2 people that started you, all the way down to where you are from a physiological perspective, all that DNA and RNA information they used to call dead space, now they're coding for that stuff and they're communicating with it, with the DNA. There's a whole field called epigenetics. Understanding what happens, how, because when we were younger, we were taught the way you were born, the behaviors that you had, the way your DNA and everything, that snapshot, that's what you're going to be. Now they've learned that circumstances and things like that can alter it. They didn't learn. They've been knew this. The same way you can train a horse to be a certain way generational, the same way you can train our systems to be a certain way generational, because that stuff starts getting remembered. This is where those traumas. So holistic fitness is also dealing with trauma. I am not an exercise lover, even though it might look like it online. I do this stuff. This is how I deal with like hidden traumas.
Right.
Hidden movements, how I allow my body to release. When I'm eating a certain way, I'm trying to eating in a way that my body is robust. So when these things come up, the immune system is strong and it's nothing. Most people, before we even get fat and out of shape and start losing energy, our immune system is compromised. And once your immune system starts to be compromised, you can start counting them life years, cutting them off.
Right.
We need to start
when you're talking,
a strong immune system and then going out from there. Go ahead.
Yeah. And when you're talking, it made me think about, this is probably why for me and a lot of people that I work with, active meditations is so effective. Like a lot of times when people are coming in, I don't say, let's sit down and meditate in silence. I say scream. And I'm like, shake. And I have people shaking, and So it's like that, and it just made me think about, like, when you were saying that move and that hunting and that fighting. And so that's why there's so many different types of meditations. And that's why I found when I do that kind of like heavy movement of shaking and stomping my feet and screaming, that gets a lot of that trauma out. And oftentimes that's what we need to do. And we need to tire out our bodies and then get into that slow, calm, relaxed state.
To me, a lot of those hidden traumas are aspects of our being that's hidden inside of our body that wants to be expressed out. And a lot of times we've been taught that expression is word or something like that. when from an energy perspective, that's one of the lowest forms of expression and communication.
Mm-hmm.
So we have things that we've been through, aspects of our being that's trapped that wants to be able to get out and expresses itself through anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
depression, or a bunch of voices. So a lot of time, what I've learned, I like to practice with a thing called zazen.
Oh
Try to
yes,
believe
Zazen. I love
in
Zazen.
zazen where you can move around and do things and be active, and it's more practical. The worst thing that I learned, at least for me, and why a lot of people are unsuccessful with meditating, once again, they do it incorrectly. They're trying
Mm-hmm.
to quiet these voices in their head instead of letting everything express itself till it's expressed out. And then when you pair that with a purpose, because when you get a purpose, all those voices will align with the strongest thing. They'll want to
Mm-hmm.
say they have their being and have their tantrum, but when the purpose is like, this is why we're doing this, things are tampered down. But when you don't have something that drives you something bigger, and you haven't taken the time to do that inner work, hear those voices, sit with yourself with quiet time, because this will take years. Some
Mm-hmm.
people can't drive in a car for an hour with nothing. Some people can't
Yeah.
sit around themselves in the house all day with no music, no
Yeah.
TV,
And
just
look,
in their head.
that be me. Like I rarely have the TV on. I don't have music on, and I'm in a car. I'm in silence. Like it got to the point where I just it was just natural, you know. And like I was saying to you earlier, like I rarely watch TV. I rarely watch movies. I enjoy it, and it's a good getaway. Like when I feel like I need that, but for the most part, I'm in silence, and that's why when I'm around a lot of like talking or a lot of different
Especially
things,
if you
like yeah, I'm like, and it's fine every once in a while. Like I don't mind, but I also need my silence. And that's why, I'm one of those people that I could be around other people and I could be in total silence and I'm okay. The other people are like, well, this is awkward. Like, we need to say something. I'm like, this is
man,
good. Just being
I'll
in
be
the
around
energy
other
and
people. I'll be
presence.
thinking I'm talking too much because so many things be going through my head. So many things that I'm analyzing. So many things. Should you say it this way? Should you say this? No, it couldn't. Don't express your opinion. They really don't want to hear that. Do you want to look like such and such and such? I have a whole lot of shit going on. I'm looking like this, and we gotta sell. I'm not saying you talk too much, Clint. I probably might not have said anything, but
Right.
it be
So
going
real
on in
quick,
my
does
head because
anybody
I'm
on
feeling all
here,
these people's energies.
right?
And I'm
Anybody
not
on
like
here real quick?
or nothing, huh? Go
No, I'm
ahead.
just saying real quick. I think there's a little lag. Sorry. Real quick, if anybody's on here and y'all got questions, any comments, let us know. We're gonna be wrapping up soon. But let us know. We'll give a few more minutes if you guys have a specific question. I see people on here, and I know people be shy, or maybe we just already answering everything. But if there's a question that you have, please ask, write it. Now's the time. And while we're waiting for you to write a question or anything, Clinton, do you have anything to share? Do you have anything that's
I'm gonna
going
try to see if I
on?
can pull up because a lot of times people might be looking at me and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, here's somebody. He probably been working out all his life and eating, and then trying to tell people, how to get
Or you
right.
gonna
They
pull up your
don't know.
picture?
Yeah, yeah, they don't know. And this is just only reason I have this picture is because at this point I was like, you know what, I need to do something different. Even though I've been in the fitness on my own, get me an accountability partner. I'm gonna hire me a coach I'm gonna pay my money so I can get back on track. And that's the only reason why I took the picture because it was virtual too. And he was like, hey, I need you to send me some assessment pictures and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Because I
Hey,
wasn't going around, but I don't know if we can see them. See
can
if I
you
can.
send me that picture on WhatsApp? I could put it on here. Send me the picture.
Yeah, I'll
Oh
set it up.
yeah. Yeah, send it on WhatsApp. So people can say, and while he's doing that, um, you know, if you're not following me, follow me at Prandar Prim underscore Tantra on IG and TikTok. Facebook is Renee Adolph, and my website is www.prandarprim.com. To let you know, I got my Awakening the Spirit Plant Medicine Retreat, January 27th to February 5th in Salvador, Bahia. It's going to be 10 days. 10 days, yes.
Oh, I want to
Because
go.
come on. Now, I don't know if you want to go because we're gonna be doing it's for men and women, but we're gonna be doing plant medicines. I don't know if you're ready for that yet. Are you ready for that?
I put 2 kids through college off plant medicine, girl. Don't come at me like
Yo, the plant medicine I'm talking about is ayahuasca, but they'll be doing all
I'm kidding.
kinds of plant
I'm kidding,
medicine
but
there.
nah, yeah.
I know,
You know,
I know.
I'm very much about how now I see, and I'm not against nootropics. I'm not even against certain chemicals for enhancement inside the body for whatever someone wants to do with their body, even if it's steroids, whatever it is, it's your body. Just long as you know what you're doing with it and what you want to get out of it. Um,
Hmm.
some things are not for me. Like myself, right now, I'm currently, you know what? Today I took omega 3, I took a zinc, and a QQ10. Um,
Okay, real
outside
quick,
that,
can you see that picture of you on the
yeah.
screen? So
You see
that's
that?
the old Clinton McCoy.
Yeah, but so I don't never get it twisted. That Clinton right there is waiting for me to chill. That's how them
Hmm.
old habits be. See, the habits, they're biological. They wait till you down, or matter of fact, till you doing real good. You know what I
Right.
mean? Go ahead and have this, have that, and then before you know it, they're back. But look at my neck. Look
Hmm.
around the dark blackness on my neck, and then look around my eyes. So it's not even just the stomach. The man boobs. I don't right now. I don't even have them little wrinkles right there
Let's see.
anymore.
I can't see. Let's see.
You
I
can't see on this side, right? I don't even have them little wrinkles on the chest. You know what I mean anymore. But look how dark the neck, my skin. If you could really
Hmm.
zoom in on that picture, you'll see so many dark blotches and stuff on my skin. This is what I tell people to focus on, even from this picture. The two systems of the body, you want to focus on healing first, and they're the easiest ones because they're the most simple. Your epidermis, your skin,
Hmm.
that's the second largest organelle system in the body, and your skeletal muscle tissue.
Hmm.
You do what you got to, because the process that it's going to take to get your skin right, you can't
Right.
eat bad and go think you're going to have good looking skin in your 40s. You're lucky. That's some genetics. You know what I mean? And you're not going to just put on things once you start to get older because your skin is going to represent states of your body. You can tell how someone's treating their body by how their skin is. If their
Yeah.
skin gets healthy and vibrant and shiny and stuff like that, chances are they're paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Uh, Same thing that you need to get healthy skeletal muscle tissue. You can't
Yeah.
just eat, and there is no pill, no shot,
So you mean you
no
can't take
advent
Ozempic?
medicine that's going to build muscle tissue.
Okay. And what about Ozempic? We can't take Ozempic?
Yeah, not to build healthy muscle tissue. Yeah,
Or
and and Ozempic still hurts some of your signaling processes. One of the things like Ozempic, so there's a hormone called leptin. That's the one of the things that makes people think that they're hungry every 2 hours.
Mhm.
When from a physiological perspective, it takes 3 days to really get hungry. So when people think that they're definitely hungry in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, that's just how metabolically unhealthy you are. Because as a human, just to exist, you should be able to go 24 hours.
And it's so interesting because I say this all the time. When I started fasting, and we didn't even get on fasting, but when I
Yeah,
started fasting and
that's a
doing
key. That's
intermittent
the key to
fasting,
healing.
I could go 3 days and not eat. And people are like, "How do you do that?" Because I'll do 3 day water fast, right,
No,
to
yeah,
give my
yeah.
body time to cleanse, and I don't get hungry. And then since I've been doing that in intermittent fasting, I've actually been eating one meal a day, and it's not like on purpose, but
Yeah,
is that I just haven't been getting hungry. And so when I do eat that one meal, I'm making sure I'm getting everything
yeah, 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 yeah,
in
yeah.
that I need, right? And so,
I
yeah.
did overnight for a while in the beginning because I was about 210, 209 in that photo. I'm about 170, 177, 180 now. Very much in the beginning, I'm super strict on the diet. Some days, one day I might eat something cooked. The next day I would have something raw. Because what I was trying to figure out is what's going on. And
Mm,
if we have certain bacteria going on, certain things happening in our gut, things like the so-called kale, it's not good for you.
right.
Too carnivorous, it's too much. It's too much irritation, and also gluten, no lectin. It has
Mhm.
lectin on it, and that's an irritant to the body. You
Right.
know, so I was just trying to figure out different things, and in order to do that, you just can't eat a lot. If
Right.
people really want to get to healing themselves, the fastest thing you're going to be able to do, 3 day fast, 3 day
Mhm.
water fast. But what you want to do is not say, hey, you know, I don't want to hear myself. I'm going on a fast in 3 days. You want to take 30 days out to get your body used to that. Because in the
Prepare
beginning,
for it too.
oh, you're going to have you some headaches.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah,
And you might
the
have
very
a
first
feel like
time,
you have a flu,
yeah,
huh?
the very first time I started, I was getting headaches.
Yeah.
And I started drinking, what I realized, I started drinking coconut water. And the coconut water was helping when I was getting the headaches.
And tea and
Now,
coffee.
when I was doing the fasting to heal myself, to allow my body to go into the autophagy, one of the
Uh-huh.
things that I learned from studying is that you don't want to drink the coconut water because it's sweet, and so it doesn't allow your body to go into autophagy. That's one of the things that I saw on YouTube. But yeah. So anyway, so then I was like, okay, I'm trying to heal my body. So let me not do it. Right. But I had
Mhm.
already been drinking coconut water and it was helping. And then by the time, because I was doing 3 day water fast once a month,
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
that's a
fast was
big
really 5 days. Because day one, I would prepare my body. He lost a lot. We lost him. So I would prepare my body by doing all fruits. Then I would do 3 days water, and the last day fruit to kind of get back in. And so that's how I was doing my fast. But I specifically wanted it to get into autophagy to help heal me, and it did. Let me see. Is he back on? I think it's coming back on. I don't know what happened. Let's give him a minute. And so for me, I know that through myself, and I've healed myself several different times. I've prevented surgery on three different occasions, but two based on the food I was eating, the exercising, the meditation, and everything that I was doing, like yoni steaming, like all of that, the whole holistic approach to healing. And that's something that's important, that's helped me. And so that's how I was just explaining how I did my fasting, you know, because I specifically, I say he went off. I was just gonna repeat myself. But anyway, who's still on here? Let me know who's here. Say hello. Let me know who's been hanging this with us this whole time. Um, on this YouTube, how you liking it? Did you feel like you got a lot from this? And yeah, let me know. So really
Let
quick,
me throw this out there too.
go
The
ahead, throw
two
this out
real
there and
main
then we'll
problems
go ahead
that
and
people
close
have.
up.
Oh,
Huh?
this I'm gonna land the plane with this because the diet and exercise, those are not the two main problems. The two real main problems, and this is what people don't want to talk about, is an identity thing and a
Mm-hmm.
priority.
Mm-hmm.
You, the way that you are over time, you have to be okay with it at a certain level. You
Yeah.
have to identify with it at a certain level. When you
Mm-hmm.
choose to identify different, you will die first before you be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also priorities.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a real priority in your life for you, you would do it because the things that we do for our kids, the things we'll do
Mm-hmm.
for our car, the things we'll do for our football team, the things we'll do for our
Or
jobs,
partner. Mm-hmm.
a partner, but we won't do a fraction of that back to ourselves. When we
Right.
actually start showing ourselves real self love, you can eat meat, you can be vegan, you can do a whole bunch of stuff. Real self love, helping your body, your mind, and your energy, your soul. You're going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And
but
I
it's an
agree with
identity
that.
thing. We have to
I,
change the way we have to. This is what I had. This is what I do. I had to do.
right.
Clint, you can't. You can't stop acting like you love yourself. All that self love talk. Because look at this. You know what
Mm-hmm.
this is leading to. This is shortening. Don't listen. I could die within the next second, but
Mm-hmm.
that will be just by chance. But
Mm-hmm.
intentionally doing it, nah. But that's if I leave them with that, and that's a hard pill for people to swallow. You just don't feel you're important enough because
Mm-hmm.
if and when you do, in any situation, you make changes or
Right.
you fail trying.
Right. Exactly. And I agree. That was a great, great thing to close off with. And I definitely agree. And, for me, it was like, how much do I love myself? How much, and that love is how much do I care about myself? And so for me, I was like, my high blood pressure was stroke levels. And I'm like, I'm about to be 48 and have a stroke. And so it was like, that's not going to happen. And so I had to say, no, Prandara, I love me and I'm taking care of me. And so all of these other things, none of that other stuff matters. Stress eating or whatever it is, whatever it else, what it was going on, I need to start taking care of myself. And I always say, and this is similar to what you're saying, remember your why. And so my why is I want to live. I want to live a healthy life. I want to be vibrant. I want to be healthy. And I don't want to die at 48 when, like, why? I don't need to. And I don't want to live to be 100 where I'm unhealthy and I'm in pain and I'm sick and I'm on all these medications and have all
And a
these
burden
problems.
to the people you're around.
Right. I don't want to be a burden to anyone else,
And
Um,
I don't want to take no shit either. Excuse my French. I don't want to
no,
do that not man day in my life. So
right.
as long as you listen, and I don't care what people say about this stuff. When we're in our 50s, and if you got your resources together and you're fit, I'm sorry, it's just a different ball game.
Right. And the
You
thing
know,
is,
it's
right
not about
now, there
doing
is
someone
no
else.
reason.
You know what? Because you know what you can also see? You can have dreams now. Because you can be like, man, if I in 10 more years, 20, 30 more years, man, if we could put together this, we can have this different type of stuff. When you don't have the energy to manifest even realities in your head, you don't even want to live that long. You say, man, I don't want to live that long. When you got
Right.
people just living it up,
Right.
making big impacts, helping
Yep.
people, serving the world, you know what I mean? 90,
Hmm.
95. You know what I
Right.
mean? At least 80.
Yeah. And right. At least, yeah. And nowadays we can live to be 100 and something,
Oh,
right? And so, like you said earlier, how do you want to live that 100 years old?
how you
Do you
want to
want
live?
to live where you're healthy and you can move around? Like, I remember seeing my dad at 88 playing soccer. My dad was very healthy, playing soccer with his grandkids, doing calisthenics. My dad used to do the bridge, like, you lay down and you put your hips up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he would
yeah.
do calisthenics. He was doing a bridge, push-ups, sit-ups.
I went
And
to
I
hot yoga for my first time the other day. The lady next to me
said,
was 61. She turned over and did one of my clients did the back bridge. I act like I didn't notice, but in my head I was like, this motherfucker just showing off a little bit.
right? I was
I was not doing it.
like, right. And so that's the thing. That's the
I
thing.
was
Like,
not doing it.
right. So,
But I want to. I'm coming though now. I'm practicing behind the scenes. He don't even know me. I'm gonna go in next to like I even now. I'm like, bit of
right.
back.
But yeah, but this is why it's important, right? And in this day and age, there really is no reason for you to be unhealthy. There's no reason for you to be miserable. There is no reason for you to be in pain and not to live the life that you want. There's resources. You have us, feel free to hit us up. You can hit me up once again on Prandara Prim _Tantra, or Renee Adolph. You can hit Clinton up on Holistic Fitness 2.0. But most importantly, you got to be an advocate for yourself. You have to make the decision that you want the best life. And going back to what Clinton was saying, when you love you and you make you a priority, you will stop making excuses, because people will make excuses. I don't have money to do this. I don't have time to do this. But everything is about priority, because I've seen people say, nah, I don't have the money right now, but then they're going out and buying a $300 pair of sneakers or
A hundred dollar
$300.
meal.
You know what I'm saying? So
A
you
hundred
need
dollar
to make
meal that's
you
going in the toilet.
right. So you need to make
But that's where
yourself
it's
a
going in
priority.
the toilet. You heard
Huh?
me? I say $100 meal that's going in the toilet.
Exactly. So it's like, come on now, make
Oh,
yourself a
and let me throw this
priority.
out here too. In the right system, you do not have to be 100%. This is the good thing about how God put the body together. It
Hmm.
may look a certain way, but you don't. in the beginning, you got to get right. But once you get back youthful again, you do not have to be 100%. You can eat late. You can eat processed food. You can skip workouts, and everything is still fall back in line as long as you have it in a routine. So I don't want people to feel like you got to be going hard. You got to be going 5 days a week. You got to be going multiple hours. I'll tell people if you first priority, you need to go from 0 to 300 active minutes in a week. But you can start out with, like when I tell people walk, they want to do all these 1,000 steps. In the beginning, I tell them to walk out 9 minutes. This is for people who don't have the time. Or walk out 9 minutes, turn around and come back.
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, that 9 minutes out will start to turn into 12. It will start to turn into 15. And if you walk 15, 16 minutes out, you still got to turn around and come back. Now, over time, you've created 30 minutes of space in your normal busy day. Now that we can interject a more strenuous habit that your body, your nervous system won't kick to the curb once you get going. Now you can add a little working out weight training. But then I would tell them still only work out for 15 minutes. You want this to be so easy that it's easy to come back the next day. Because
True.
It doesn't matter if you have the best exercise or the best nutrition plan. If you don't do things long enough for it to take effect, it's not going to happen. And I'm going to land the plane with this. I like to give this cake baking analogy. You can have all the ingredients, knowing the right exercises, the right diet, and everything you need for the cake. You can know the temperature that you need to bake this cake in. But if it takes 20 minutes and you think you're going to have something in 5 minutes, you're going to have something, but it's not going to be a cake. A lot of the way that people want to start healing their body, we got to stop thinking about a 21-day, a 30-day type heal. You need to be thinking like whatever you start to do, you want to have it in a way that you can do this for at least 90 days to 120 days. Because if you get your A1C check, they're not telling you to come back in 2 months. You need to come back in 90 days because this is how long it's going to take for them to get that measurement. If you're working on your cholesterol, they're telling you to come back in 4 months. Because if you would do things right, this is how long on the short term that it takes the body's systems to start to correct. If you're trying to build healthy muscle tissue, you're not going to do it in a week. So you have people that will work out for 10 days and talk about they're getting bulky. When it doesn't even work like that. Even if you did it right, it's going to take you a month to get it going.
Right.
If you're doing it right. You know what I mean? But, so I just want to leave it with that. People get the right information, do things on the right time frame, and you'll find you'll get a bunch of results and stay consistent.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, Clinton, for coming on and joining me today for this live Fit, Fierce, and Flourishing Wellness Over 40. It was a great talk. I feel like we could probably go on for another whole hour. Or you could go on for another whole hour. But I love it. It was like a lot of great information.
It's helping from, other parts of this. One thing I like about longevity, if you live long enough, you'll be able to tell people stories. Huh?
I said, I told y'all he could go on for another hour. Keep going.
If you live long, because I just was going by what you said. If you live long enough, you can write any story you want.
Should I go get the rest of my pizza? We could keep talking on this live, and I'll just eat.
I'm good.
I know we gotta do this again. We gotta do a part 2. So I see that there's more people on here. And I hope that you got some great information. Go ahead and follow Clinton at Holistic Fitness. And don't forget, go ahead and hit the like button if you got some good information from this, if you enjoyed the live. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you can receive notifications every time I'm going to go live so you don't miss my lives. I may be changing my lives from Wednesday nights. Not sure yet, but I'm trying to figure out my schedule and doing some things. So this might actually be my last live on a Wednesday night for right now. I'm going to figure out my August schedule. So I'm closing off July with Clinton, and it was great. Thank you again. I love this. Thank you again for being on here. Thank you, all of you who came on. Love you guys. Have a great night, and I will talk to you soon.